Alright, so I actually just went ahead and just restarted the whole thing just because it was appearing to be lagging a lot. So, anyways, let us go ahead and continue our questing here in Storm Song. And what a lovely night, isn't it? What a glorious, beautiful night here in lovely Storm Song. Isn't this just wonderful and lovely? Oh, hello, good people. Such a gorgeous... Oh. So, let me talk about this. This angers me for a couple of huge reasons. One, does this look morally gray to you? Look at this. Look at this. Does this seem morally gray to you? This is just straight up, yeah, the Horde are the evil bad guys. There's no morally gray here. The only possible way that could somehow be true... Okay, hold on. I didn't think I was going to have to do this, but apparently Stormsong has a very chatty general chat, and now it's kind of starting to get a little... Just want to get that off the chat. Whatever. Alright, let me do that. There we go. Don't pay attention to that. Anyways, what I was saying was... This is such a lack of backing of the whole, don't worry, both sides, it's morally gray and all that. And yet this is a clear attempt to make them look evil and the bad guys. And yet they've always said they're going to try and make it morally gray on both sides to make neither side look like the bad guy or the good guy. The other reason this is backed up by this, and this is the second reason, there is no equivalent to this on the other side. I quested through Zandalar as the Horde, and in none of those zones does anything like this on behalf of the Alliance against the Horde or the people of Zandalar. The only time that ever comes true, really, is in the Battle of Dazar'alor raid. That's pretty much the only time that actually happens. But that's a raid. This is just, we're going to attack civilians, burn the place down, and destroy the resources. This... Ugh. This irritates me so much. There is a piece of paper here, though, that may give a possible excuse to this in some way. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue.
Welcome to the valley.
So you've got your Super Saiyan hairdo there. This can't be happening.
Have a stupendous day.
Mayor?
We must protect the citizens of Stormsong.
The Horde have set fire to my town, Demon Hunter. I will make them pay for this. Stormsong Valley is the breadbasket of Kul Tiras, and our people need to be fed. The first thing that we must do is damage control. Grab some buckets and help put those fires out. The Horde is an army, make no mistake. And armies need orders. Someone must be giving orders here. They know the plan, and I want to know the plan too. Look for people who seem to be in charge and see if you can uncover any intelligence so that we know what to do next.
Stay safe out there.
Greetings!
By the sea's foamy beard, what a blast! They've brought goblins, and there's one thing I know about goblins, it's that they like to blow things up. I saw a few of them carrying large bombs, and I presume that they're going to blow up the town. Why? Why are they gonna blow up the town? I would like to keep the town, so how about you head out there and steal as many of those explosives as you can find. After that, let's blow up their demolishers and stop this infernal bombardment.
Be careful. This land is no longer safe.
This is like Darth Malik in Knights of the Old Republic. Malik would just destroy everything, as opposed to actually trying to conquer it. You know. Again, morally gray. That raider just murdered a civilian. Morally gray, everybody. Oh yeah, morally gray. Now this is hilarious. Bloodthirsty headhunter. And I'm just like, really? The dark spear? Like Rokan would be okay with sending trolls to murder civilians? No, he wouldn't.
Too far away.
There is such a slant here that it's just almost like a joke. This is so slanted to make the Horde look evil, the evil bad guys. It's almost insulting. It's no wonder I've heard people say that they refused to level their Horde characters in this expansion. Because how can you blame them when you see stuff like this? The way they are portrayed, throughout this expansion in this manner. Look at this. They are taking flamethrowers to a town of civilians who are helping make just food for the people of this zone. And I'm just thinking about some of the characters on the side of the Horde, like, that should not be okay with this stuff. And yet, somehow they are. I think, because it's never really, like, does this ever get brought up again later? Do they ever show, like, the Horde leaders actually show, like, finding out about what happened in this town and actually being regretful or upset about it? No. It's just kind of brushed aside. It's never brought up. It's kind of like how some of the Horde characters didn't even acknowledge what happened at Teldrassil. And it's like, why are you not even acknowledging that? This is basically a recreation of what it was like in Warcraft 1, when the Horde was working for the Burning Legion, just coming here, and just basically were the evil demonic Horde, just raiding and pillaging, villages of innocent people. That's basically what this has been reverted to, and it's ridiculous. Again, if there was an equivalent to this on the other side of maybe some rogue faction of the Alliance, some rogue Alliance soldiers that perhaps took their orders a little too seriously or something, okay, then I could be like, alright, so at least they're trying to make it look like it's even on both sides. But there isn't! I know, because I've already done the Horde side, and there, as far as I can recall, there is nothing like this from, on behalf of the Alliance. There's anything like this, even though there have been times in history where Alliance soldiers and such have been more than okay with doing stuff like this. This whole little bit here is just... This is just like, no wonder people don't want to play the Horde in this expansion. Because why would you want to when you see stuff like this and it's like, hey, is this the faction you want to be a part of? I'd be like, no. It's hard for me to defend people, or to argue against people that say it's better to play Alliance in this expansion than it is Horde. It's hard to like, you know, disagree with that. Because when you see something like this, it's like all the evidence that's needed to show that. Now, where is this chest? Is it up here? Is it in the tree? No? Whatever. Whatever. Let me find this person with the orders. Let me find this person.
Don't you move. Defeated by the likes of you.
It's too far away. I need to target something first.
Okay. So now, General, our spies report that the farms and villages of Stormsong Valley are sending supplies to Kul Tiras soldiers. It is only a matter of time before they do the same for Alliance troops. This cannot stand. Seize Stormsong for the Horde, cut their supply lines, and establish a foothold for our forces. Minimize our losses if you can, but not at the expense of the mission, such as the price of war. Now, those instructions sound like move in and conquer and take control, which is different. Moving in and conquering it and taking control so that you can be able to establish your own foothold in the area and manage the resources for yourself and your forces, that's different than go in and burn everything to the ground. So, there's a possible explanation here that Sylvanas actually wanted them to take control of this area and its resources, which would make sense, because not only are you getting more resources for yourself and your army, but you're also cutting it off from the Alliance. Plus, here's another thing, this could have possibly opened up an opportunity to establish political relations with the Kul Tiras people, who right now do not have any love for the Alliance at all. And if, let's say, this Horde came in and were actually a bit more diplomatic about this with the Kul Tiras and actually tried to perhaps do something to help them, they could have actually gotten some of the people here in this town to actually want to side with the Horde against the Alliance, if they actually decided to do that. But apparently, the person we just defeated decided, nah, forget that. Let's just go ahead and raid and pillage this place to the ground, and let's just kill humans, because who cares about them for the Horde? I cannot express how much I hate this little section here. The first time I found out about this section, I was mad. Because this makes zero sense when you know about some of the characters on the Horde that would not be behind this whatsoever. At all. Like, do you really think Bane would be okay with this? Do you think Rokan would be okay with this? Do you think Sourfang would be okay with this?
Target.
Do you think Thrall would be okay with this? There are plenty of characters on the side of the Horde who would never be okay with this whole move in and murder civilians and raid and pillage and burn places and resources to the ground. Not a chance.
Come to lend a hand.
And yet the writers decided to go ahead and depict that. Or rather, have a lack of showing the characters on the Horde reacting to the news of this, if they ever even found out. Now, if this is an isolated incident, okay, but let the players and such know whether or not. Otherwise, in a number of ways, this makes no sense. Other than a slanted effort to make the Horde look like the evil bad guys in this, instead of making it look like both sides are at fault, which is usually supposed to be the case. The Banshee Queen is not like the previous war chiefs. No, she's not. No, she's not.
Tides guide you.
Oh, guess I wasn't in time. 8 explosives and fires doused. Now, where am I supposed to... Ah, buckets of water like right here. Okay. Oh my goodness. Whatever. Plenty of buckets of water here, it looks like. Right. That's 100% for the bonus. I was a little worried that wasn't going to hit. Huh, it's a good thing this bucket of water just keeps refilling itself. Okay. I could just keep coming back to it. It's like, yeah, sure. Okay, apparently that one missed. Nope, never mind, it counted.
I need to get close.
Oh, you want to die? Okay, fine. I was going to spare you, but whatever. But at the same time, I probably shouldn't, considering what you're doing to this town.
Attack that.
That's funny, coming from you. I mean, when you see stuff like this, it's no wonder there are Alliance players that just think anyone who plays Horde is an evil person. It's no wonder when Blizzard just slants this so hard in one direction. I mean, they even did this back when BFA was announced at BlizzCon. Like, hey, Alliance, you remember when the Horde betrayed you and led to your, and had your king killed? And we're all sitting there, us Horde players, we're like, but that's not true. And you know that's not true. Why are you lying? And I was just like, are you seriously, like, lying about that right now? And I was there at BlizzCon when he announced that. And I was just like, what? And I'm looking around trying to see if there are any Alliance players like would actually react and be like, actually agree with me that that wasn't true. To this day, I wonder if how many Alliance players have never known the truth, not only about what happened at the Broken Shore. Like, how many of them to this day truly still believe that the Horde actually willingly betrayed them to the Burning Legion at the Broken Shore, which itself is a stupid notion. That would somehow, that anyone would think that would actually be true.
You got a bad juju heading your way.
Do you guys mind? I'm trying to put out a fire that you started.
Can't attack that target.
I wonder if there are any other... Oh, there are. For a second, I thought this was going to be my only source of actual buckets of water. But no, there's like a whole fountain of water over here. So, yeah, I guess that would make sense. Oh, hold on. Bomb! You know what? Forget this. Like, I ain't got time for this. It's like, oh, look at that. You can breathe fire? Or rather, you can use fire? So can I! Wasn't fast enough.
It's too far away.
This is so stupid.
Don't have a target.
I'm sorry, any writer or developer that did this that can stand there with a straight face and call this a morally gray situation is... I'm like, okay, what are you on? That you can actually, you know, with a straight face, call this a morally gray situation.
Head for breakfast.
Okay, the fact that that's a goblin saying that just makes that... Because of course a goblin would say, for the Horde and for profit. Of course he would. I'm guessing this is one of Gallywix's schemes. Because Gazlo would not be cool with this. He wouldn't want to send his guys out to participate in stuff like this. Because there's no profit in this. Oh my goodness, will you leave me alone so I can disable these bombs? Which shouldn't even be here in the first place, but...
Can't attack that.
I was not looking forward to doing this portion here. I hate this whole portion.
This is your end.
Especially when I hear them say for the Horde. I'm like, you do not have the right to say that right now during this little bit here. You don't get to say that. You don't even know what those words truly mean.
It's too far away.
Three more explosives and 2 explosives. There we go. There's another one right here.
I need to get closer.
Gosh. I just hate when you're trying to channel something and they just keep interrupting you. So go away.
I need to target something first.
Wasn't fast enough. One more fire. Okay. One more bomb. And you could tell that that's also how it was being intended with the way that cutscene started. You know how I walked up and I was like, oh, what a glorious, beautiful evening it is. And then you walk up and it's like, oh, it's all wonderful. Hello, how are you? Like the town's like, oh, it's wonderful. And then here comes the evil horde. Just the way that was shot. It's so obvious that that's what the intention is. Now, again, I would have less of a problem with this if there was an equivalent of this on the other side. If there was a group of rogue alliance that took it too far against some Zandalari trolls. Kind of like what we were seeing back in Nazmir, just in the previous part. You know, some of those, you know, let's say some innocent Zandalari troll civilians being, you know, really, really negatively treated by Alliance forces, not necessarily because they, you know, are trying to be evil, but because they're a bit too over the top with their aggression. Like, this is for what happened with Teldrassil. You know, like, they're trying to take out their frustration, their anger, take it out on the Zandalari troll civilians. You know, if there was something like that, I would have less of a problem with this. But this is just so one-sided, it's... Ugh. It's incredibly frustrating.
The mayor is in. How can I help you?
Bombs, fire, horde. Our town will endure it all.
Choppy waters ahead.
I have to go take down a couple of these demolishers. Okay. Where is... Oh, my gosh. Is it inside? Yes, it is. Isn't it? Yep, there it is. Whatever. Seriously. Good thing I can double jump. Demon Hunter for the win.
I be sending you to...
Bombarding seconds. Oh my goodness.
Storm Song will endure.
These look particularly nasty. I'm glad they aren't blowing up in our faces.
Safe travels.
Come to lend a hand?
Bad news, friend. They're bringing in serious firepower now. We've spotted a tank on the northern hill by the windmill. They can reach the other side of the town from there. We can't let them set it up. What do you say to giving them a taste of their own medicine? If you can take out their commander, you'd have a fancy new tank all to yourself. Imagine the mayhem that you could unleash on their invasion.
Tides guide you.
I'm gonna enjoy this!
Strong.
Woohoo! This thing has an Azurite cannon. Self-destruct. That's cute. You know, because I'm a demon hunter, I could just... I've got my own parachute right there. They're called wings.
I must protect the citizens of Stormsong.
I'll go with the legs. If you've got a minute, there's a farmer out there who hasn't made it back yet. Name's Burton, and he's out by a farm right next to Briarback Crawl. If the Quillboar were to strike out, his farm is one of the first in their way. I haven't heard anything from Burton. He mostly relied on his mechanical farmers to help him, so we don't know the situation out there. Head to the west and keep an eye out for him, would you? We've still got some folk missing, and I could use your help finding them. While Brennadam is now secure, I worry for some of our farms closer to the Quillboar Crawl. We've relied on the militia in the past to keep the Quillboar back, but now they've retreated to the east, and I worry that our outlying farms are in danger. Goldfiend's farm is almost directly south of us, up the hill by the falls. While it's not surprising that he hasn't left, I would feel better if you checked in. Or, yeah, if you checked in.
Choppy waters ahead.
Brennadam is my home, and I will protect it.
Steve Valentine? Patrick and Daryl Eckhart have a place north of town. If I know them, they'll be taking in survivors from Brennadam. Check in with Patrick and see if they need any help.
There's treasure everywhere in Stormsong.
I'm just saying, for a moment I thought I was talking to Alistair. You know, from Dragon Age Origins. Alright, let's see. Survivors.
Come at me! Come at me!
Not from reindeer, are you?
Calvin sent you? We can use all the help that you can provide.
Seas grant you favor. Every hand helps.
The Horde spilled a lot of blood in Brennadam, and now it's time to spill some more. The scent of blood makes predators in these hills go crazy. We use it to lure animals when hunting. The Horde forces occupying caves up in the hills. Toss these scent vials into the caves where the Force commanders organize the attack. The smell should bring all the hills down upon them. Most of these Horde don't scare us, but we lost 2 people today to a group of Forsaken Keenblades. We've had trouble tracking them down. We could really use your help. They're stealthy and dangerous fighters, so show no mercy.
Every path has a few puddles.
You're a long way from home.
This is our home now, and we will fight to keep it. We may be outnumbered here, but we aren't going to be outgunned. Find us every axe, sword, spear, crossbow, and gun for our rebellion.
We will make this valley whole again.
Wanted. By the decree of the Storm's Wake, find and kill the foreign spy Yarselgun, a foreigner agent hiding on our soil. She's responsible for acts of terrorism against the citizens of Stormsong. The individual that ends her existence will earn a fitting reward. I'm curious if there are any players doing that right now. By the way, yes, I went ahead and uncovered the rest of the map. Hello, what is this? Legends of the Tide Sages. It began simply. Stormsong's gifts guided fish into our nets and fresh water into our mouths. No longer were we slaves to the elements. We were masters. Discover each of the lore objects in Stormsong Valley that tell the legacy of the Tide Sages. Woo! Could I solo this? Let's find out.
Closer. I'm out of range.
Suggested 3 players. Pfft, unless, of course, you're a tank demon hunter. Yeah!
Stormsong will endure.
One less horde in Stormsong.
Keep your wits about you out there.
Let's go check in on these farmers. Huh. I haven't seen those bonus objective icons in quite some time.
Times were simpler once.
I stayed behind to see if I could help. Everyone else made it back okay, right?
We will reclaim what's ours.
You may have noticed that the fields are a little unstable right now. The Briarback have been busy, growing those large bramble vines and boring tunnels underneath the farm. The vines have always been an important part of their borders, and they're expanding. Go down into the lower area and see if you can find who or what is making those vines grow. There's no way that they're growing like that naturally. If we can stop the vines, we can retake this area. The militia may have given up on us, but we haven't given up. But we haven't given up on me. I'm a bit of a tinker, and I find that my harvest golems are better than any hired help that I've ever had. They just need regular maintenance to keep running. Of course, the Briar Pack are now taking over my fields, and my farmhands have gone into disrepair. If you head out into the fields, you can grab the inner mechanisms from any of them that you find. That will stop them from exploding, as well as help me plan my revenge.
Every path has a few puddles.
Let's go check on this other farmer. Okay. Wait, it's a good thing I've got flying unlocked.
Attack that target.
Can I just let you guys know how much I'm enjoying being able to just see myself just wailing away at enemies while wielding the Warglaives of Azzinoth? That's just such a little bit of extra joy for me to be able to do. Look at him, he's sitting on top of his farm with a rifle.
Fancy a cuppa?
Roz always worries about me. I keep telling her that I'm fine up here, but she never listens. You see the problem? No, you don't. The problem isn't all these dang quillboar. Quillboar I can shoot all day. I've been shooting them all my life, since my pappy gave me my first gun. The problem is that these pigs are tough. Tougher than they've ever been before. Can't kill them like I used to, see? My new modified bullets get stuck in them and they just refuse to die. Here, take my knife. Go out then, kill some of the quillboar and get my ammo back. Then I can just shoot the rest. I won't stop till there's none left to shoot.
Keep the wind in your sails.
Be with you in a moment, Houndmaster. You know, Carla, I know you're the Flight Master, but you could still give me a hand. I mean, you've got a weapon right there. I'm just saying.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
You there. I could use your help. The ground isn't safe. The Quillboar have established a network of tunnels below us, allowing them to spring up to ambush people who aren't walking carefully. Luckily for us, Humphrey here has a nose for the Briarback and can sniff them out even when they're underground. Root a few of them, and let's make the farms a little safer to walk through. There's a particularly large clump of them in the northeastern fields. Good hunting. Hey, Humphrey. Humphrey's a good tracker, to be sure. He's also the orniest, angriest, most dogged dog if he ever sets his eyes on a quillboar. This will certainly be useful. Below our very noses, the foreman organizes and directs the tunnelers to cause the most mayhem and destruction. If you can put an end to him, it should make things a lot easier for us to move around the farmlands. Humphrey looks a bit hungry, wouldn't you say? Why don't you bring him with you to take care of business?
Steady on ahead.
Good boy, Humphrey. Who's a good boy? Now, who is this? Or rather, what is this? It's a dirty pocket watch. You find a pocket watch on the ground. It's dirty, but it still works. It was taken care of well. Perhaps there are other objects that Goldfiend wasn't able to grab before he had to hole up in his house. He might appreciate if you brought them to him. So, bunch of quests we just picked up. But you know what? You know what lots of people will say is one of the best feelings in this game? When you have tons of quests like this, and then after you do them, you look and you see all of them say ready to turn in. That's one of the best feelings you can get in this game. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and take some time before the next vid to go ahead and just kind of finish all these so we can be able to look at this and see ready to turn in for tons of them. So I'm just going to do a little bit of off-camera questing. Don't mind me. Stay tuned.